Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today it's going to be a different video. I'm going to be doing schoolwork, which is online, while recording. So right now I'm doing art class since the first two classes didn't really have any work for me to do, besides a video for new students. So yeah, let me move this over here real quick, and we're gonna get started. Sorry, I look terrible. I haven't slept, so I might have issues. But yeah,
it would not be
this video
balanced.
won't be edited.
This side would go down and the other side would go up. Okay, well what if I put an equal weight object on the other side?
Okay, first I need to see. Okay, so it's balanced video questions. Well, what happened when you have two equal weight objects on each side? Okay, so I gotta look for that.
Then you'd have balance. So if I had a smaller object,
I gotta restart this video now.
it would not be balanced. This side would go.
Okay.
And if I were to put a heavy object on one side, it would not be balanced. This side would go down and the other side would go up. Okay, well what if I put an equal weight object on the other side? Then you'd have balance. So if I had a smaller object on one side, I could still have a balance if the larger object were moved closer to the fulcrum. Sound familiar? This is basic physics. If you can wrap your head around this idea, it's going to be no problem understanding this concept of visual balance. If you can think of your composition as one of those scales, then all this.
Okay, so what happens if you have two equal weights? Right, I need to go back to that part. My mistake.
Then you'd have balance.
Okay, so there will be balance. Okay, so next question. To balance a smaller object with a larger object, the larger object should be moved closer to. So it's page to the larger one.
So if I had a smaller object on one side, I could still have a balance if the larger object were moved closer to the fulcrum. Sound familiar?
Okay, so
This is basic physics. If you can wrap your head around this idea, it's going to be no problem.
I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Each object carries a blank weight.
Problem
no.
understanding this concept.
Oh no. Oh no. I accidentally did something, but oh well.
Of visual balance. If you can think of your composition as
Each object carries a visual weight. Wait, each object carries a visual weight. Doesn't sound right though. That's the thing. I'm gonna go back over here.
fulcrum. Sound familiar? This is basic physics. If you can wrap your head around this idea, it's going to be no problem understanding this concept of visual balance. If you can think of your composition.
Well, it said it was visual balance. I guess the balance doesn't have to be symmetrical the same. I don't know. Large object cannot be balanced by a severe. This means I gotta go back. Okay,
So if I had a smaller object on one side, I could still have a balance if the larger object were moved closer to the fulcrum.
Okay, let's see. Is this something an answer? Balance doesn't have to be. Okay, wait, not that one. A larger object cannot be balanced by a. I'm gonna say false, and then this one I'm gonna say true because I don't know. What kind of visual weight does a small object have? Equal, larger, no visual weight. only physical weight, big amount of visual weight, small amount of visual weight. I don't know. Because there is another video, apparently. So I have to look at both of those videos.
The first principle that we will study is balance. Balance refers to the visual equalization of the elements of art.
Okay, so does that give me any answer of, Well, no, that does not help you yet. Okay.
Every object in a photo has visual weight. This principle helps make sure that visual weight is even across the photo. There are three major forms of balance. They are symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial. Symmetrical balance is the first form of balance and used most often by beginning photographers. Symmetrical balance happens when the art elements in a composition are balanced in a mirror-like fashion. For example,
I feel like this video will help me later in this thing. Nope. Okay, well.
placing a person...
Okay, so symmetrical is where the art elements are balanced in a mirror-like fashion. So that actually is one of the kind of questions. Symmetrical balance can be okay, no. Symmetrical balance is mirror-like, okay? Okay, so this video is helping a little. Let me go back to where it says balance refers to visual equalities of elements of art. The three major forms of balance are symmetrical and okay. What was the last one I said? In that one, okay. Spectrum balance is okay. This video is helping actually.
And radial form of balance and used elements in a composition. It becomes frequently by advanced
okay, so is art and compose. Am I skipping some parts of the video? Yeah, okay. Is when art's balance differency of art elements. I need us to go over here. And move my phone. Okay. So right now it says, so true or false. Oh, you can see a cat. Asymmetrical is when artist balances different of art. I accidentally got something off. Okay, so is when the artist balance differences of art elements, or it's not the same on each side. So the definition says where is elaborate is activated by balance differences in art's elements with. So I'm gonna say false because yeah,
photographers to create equilibrium. For example, radial can be used
Where
in
elements in compose branch or ratio out of. Okay. Ratio balance is when the balance ratio from. Well, that doesn't say balance. Okay. False. Okay. Which of these following images is asymmetrical balance? So it says where it's mirrored. None of these really look mirrored. This one looks mirrored. No, this one does too. I'm gonna say this one. Oh, this one. I'm gonna say that one. Okay, for this one, I don't know. I'm gonna say 3. Racial balance. And this is where elements in the composed branch or ratio out of. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so I'm not done because there's this other video. Now I gotta answer, what kind of visual weight does a small object have? So I'm gonna take that one out, put this one here.
Sound familiar? This is basic physics. If you can wrap your head around this idea, it's going to be no problem understanding this concept of visual balance. If you can think of your composition as one of those scales, then all of a sudden you have a balancing act. So if I have one object right in the center, we'll say he's on the fulcrum. That's balanced. If I were to move him to one side of the composition, that would be unbalanced. Now I could balance it again by duplicating him and giving it a bit of symmetry. So what this means is that each object in your scene carries visual weight. One way to achieve unity or harmony in your image is to have a balanced composition. So the balance can come in a couple different ways, but it doesn't have to be symmetrical. So I can shrink this guy down, put him in the distance, and then enlarge this guy, but move him closer to the center, or closer to the fulcrum, and it's still balanced. And it doesn't just need to be 2 objects either. You could have a large scene populated with tons of characters. Maybe it's one large character in the foreground, and then a whole crowd of other characters in the background. Because they're physically smaller in the composition, that gives them less visual weight. And so a whole crowd of characters can equal the weight of one character that's in the foreground.
Okay, so I actually finished
So this is still a balanced composition.
that.
So if you're not seeing it in this example, I'll show you a quick diagram.
I'm gonna say week. So this is assignment number 1. Here, I'll show you. I can't show you. So it says week 2, assignment 1, balance video questions. I'm gonna mark this one as done. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else for me to do right now? Thumbnail sketches video. I think I should move this there. Draw along with video, learn, refresh and practice thumbnail sketches, take a picture and attach it to this assignment. Submit. I already know how to do thumbnail sketches.
Okay, so in this tutorial, I figured I'd share something with you guys that I think is pretty useful, and it's
I already know how to do this. This is for the new students in his class. It says draw a large, English. Draw along with the intro video to learn, refresh, and practice thumbnail sketches. Take a picture and attach it to this assignment.